What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Ongaku to You, your weekly Japanese music industry podcast where we talk about this week in the Japanese music industry. I'm your host for today, Gray, and with me I've got...
Hello everyone, it's Luna. Luna desu, yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
What is happening, Luna? How's your week going?
I don't want to talk about my week. Let's just put it that way. I'm just glad we're doing a podcast today.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's the highlight of your week and you just kind of look forward to it. I know how you feel. It's the highlight of my week most weeks too. But yes, we are in week 2 of what we deemed last week as the Endless Kenless. And Ken, I know you're working hard, buddy. I hope everything's going good today. Hopefully you're not getting mobbed by people.
It's the Endless Kenless Part 2. So it's Dos Cum Padres.
Yeah, part 2 of 3? 4.
4.
4. So yeah, we got 2 more to go. So hopefully everything goes good. And yeah, I'm really excited. We're going to start off this week like we always do and talk about what we've been listening to this week. So Luna, take it away.
A lot of randomness because I've been going back and forth on what I want to listen to. So first off, Crystal K. I really wanted some Crystal K, and it all started because I was listening to M-Flow's Astromatic and their Beat Space 9 albums, but mainly Astromatic. Rewind got me back to wanting more Crystal K, so then I started listening to her For Real album. Then I switched it to Vivid and brought me back some memories because I love me some Crystal K. So I was jamming out to her this week. Also pulled up some Jongri again, some Chanmina, and I dived into an artist I hadn't listened to in a little while, some Jasmine, and I was listening to her in the car today because the song Weekend High got me in the mood for the weekend, and was listening to Cream Banana again. I can't get enough of that banana. And also was listening to Yayoi Daimon, who I recently got into because she has some really catchy tunes.
Bless you.
Catchy tune. But
no, I was like it sounds like Ayui Daimon sounds like a sneeze.
Yayoi Daimon.
Sounds like a sneeze.
She's really interesting. She's hip hop and has some very racy videos, but I really like her style of music. She's some good songs. And my friend told me she had a new song and I had to check it out, so I'm like, ooh, this is good. Very excited about that. But that's really it for me this week. And of course, Kodakumi, I have to get my Kodakumi dose. So what about you, Gray? What have you been listening to?
I have been listening to the... What ultimately has turned into a mildly disappointing week, because I just realized I'd never said how my week was going. Disappointing will be the very brief and short answer of that, because this has never happened. I've ordered stuff off of CG Japan in the past, but usually it takes about a week or so for everything to come in, so I'm used to new releases coming over a week after they come out. And there was 2 singles that I had that came out both on the 31st, and they both came in last Friday. So that really made my weekend, and then it kind of got tanked Tuesday when I saw where both of them landed for the Oricon. One didn't even chart at all, and the other one, it saddens my soul. But yes, the first one that came in, the first one that I opened at least, because they both came in, they were in the same mail package. But the first one that I opened was Rude Alpha's Life, which is the current ending theme for Dr. Stone, which is a shonen anime. Very interesting anime. I don't know how I feel about it. I've watched the first 3 episodes. It's very interesting. It's about everybody in the world got turned into stone, and over 3,000 years has gone by, and now they've started waking up and coming out of the stone, and so they're trying to rebuild civilization. That's the crux of the plot, so to speak. But yeah, Rude Alpha does the ending theme for it. Life has a really good song. The whole single's really well done. Like, I liked every song on it. It's just 3 songs, and then they have Life as the instrumental for the 4th, which I think is very typical. But yeah, that's a really, really good single. If you like Rude Alpha, which I think it's become apparent, I've grown into a huge fan of his. Definitely check it out. It's really, really good. Definitely like Life. And then the second thing that came in the mail was a little single called Brave Up by LOL. And yes, this thing has been mostly in my stereo up until yesterday when I popped in LML and started listening to that again. But yeah, I love Brave Up. And I was really, really looking forward to talking about this thing because I really wanted it to chart. I think that's how, if you're a fan of a group, you always want them to do well. And I really had my heart set on them charting this week, and in the combined digital total they hit 22, and just the physicals they hit 12, and they like as far as digital goes, it's just a 300 difference. So the majority of their sales are physical. So it sounds to me like they need to get more in the digital market. But yeah, that saddened me a lot. But Brave Up is an amazing song. That the whole single's really good. Brave Up, Like That. And I still don't remember the third song. I couldn't remember it last week, and I don't remember it this week. But yeah, those 3 songs are really, really good. Great, fantastic songs. Definitely recommend them. I have not popped in the DVD for Brave Up, so I haven't. I've watched the short version of the music video. It doesn't say short on the YouTube, so like if you look it up on YouTube, it's the short version, but it doesn't say that. They try to pass it off as the full version, but there's a whole verse of the song missing. So yeah, it's how it goes. But other than that, I haven't been listening to anything too crazy. It's mostly been LOL and Root Alpha. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing too insane. But yeah, with that out of the way, we will be moving on to our weekly articles. In Luna, I think you got the first article for the week, so go ahead and take us away.
All right. So we're going to be talking about a singer that I really enjoy. Hashimoto Miyuki is celebrating her 15 years in the music industry with a somewhat best album entitled Unison 15. If you don't know who she is a Japanese pop singer who does a lot of anime and game songs. So you can check out a little bit more information on the songs she's done for certain anime on our website. It comes in a 2-disc edition with a hefty track listing. You can also check out a music video for the song Unison, which is the new track on the album, and the rest of the album is compiled of songs from the later half of her career. It also, on our website, has 2 videos so you can snippet each of those songs on that album. You can get your copy now on CD Japan, so check it out.
All right, moving on up to our next article. We get to talk about a group that's near and dear to my heart, the Fantastics. Although I will be honest, I'm not as crazy about this single as I have been their other stuff. Still, it's a good song, just not as good as their other stuff. But the Fantastics have announced their next it's not an announcement, they've already dropped the music video, but they have revealed their next single, and it's going to be called Dear Destiny. They dropped the music video last week. It's going to come out near the end of the month on August 21st, so in a couple of weeks. I'm really excited for this. I can't wait for it. It's going to be good. If you want to check it out, you can. The music video is in the article along with links to the pre-order, so check it out. I am really, really looking forward to it. Moving on to the next group, 9mm Parabellum Bullet, which is a mouthful of a band name, but they are a rock band, and they have revealed that they will be releasing a brand new album titled Deep Blue. It will be coming out on September 9th, so not too far along, and it's going to be coming in 3 editions, a standard, limited, and vinyl. And if you want to check out some of their music, if you've never heard of them, we do have a music video for them on the site, so you can get a sampling of what they have to offer, and you could pre-order your copy of Deep Blue while you're on the site. Moving on to the next article, official Hige Dandism have revealed they will be dropping their new album. We talked about this last month. Now more details have come out. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be called Traveler. It's going to come out on October 9th. It's being released in 3 editions. They are a really cool band. We'll get to talk about them again here in a little bit because surprise, surprise, they're back. Like this song Pretender is just like it. I'm saying this in the best way it can be interpreted, but it's a zombie that just will not die. It keeps coming back. So yes, good job. Great stuff. But yeah, it will be released in 3 editions. All of the links are on the article, so go to the website, check it out. It's going to be great. Moving on to the next article, Kiyoshi Hikawa has revealed he will be dropping a brand new single. If you're not familiar with him, he is an Inca singer, and that's typically we don't really typically cover Inca, but he's a little special because he did the opening, or one of the openings, for Dragon Ball Super. So he's kind of got some mainstream appeal going for him. So he's got a new single coming out titled Daijobu / Mogami no Sendo, and yeah, I've noticed a couple of his releases have the word Daijobu on the front of them, so I couldn't figure out if this is like a release motif thing that he has going on or whatnot. But the song Daijobu will be on this release, so if you're interested in that, by all means, check it out. It is coming in 3 editions, a type D, E, and F, because he had a release earlier in the year with Daijobu. Although Daijobu was not on that release, so I don't know why he called it Daijobu. Anyways, like I said, it's kind of weird and confusing when I was looking it up. But check it out. It is coming in 3 editions. Should be pretty cool. So check it out.
All right, so our next article, Superfly has announced that she will once again be releasing a brand new album, which will be dropping later this year, titled Zero. You can check out some more information on the site, as we have little excerpts of some comments from her. And the team announced some more information regarding that, as it also teased an upcoming tour for her as well, which will start on August 21st. Check out the rest of the article on the site so you can read a little bit more about what she has to say. And our next bit of news is mega superstar and Japanese pop queen Hamasaki Ayumi is powering up for her 21st anniversary. She has a new Blu-ray entitled Ayumi Hamasaki 21st Anniversary Power of I guess you could say Cubed, which will be unleashed on September 4th. You can check out more information on the Blu-ray's release, along with a set list for the concert, a cover for the album, and pre-order links as well. Grab your copy today because she has some of the most amazing concerts, and it is worth the money.
Yeah, this looks like a really good set list.
It's amazing, and I'm going to be pre-ordering my copy. I like to wait till they go down in price, but I don't think I will because it's worth every cent. Looking at this set list, has some of my favorite songs on it, and she knows how to put on a tour.
I will say, I don't know why she went with Power of A Cubed, because it in the way it's like takes you back to like high school algebra.
Well, she does also have a couple other tours with Power in it, like Power of Music. So I feel like she was trying to do a little something different. You know, change up the title but still use powers. She's such a powerful woman when she does her tours, so.
That makes sense. That's understandable. All right, moving on to the next article. Pop rock band Do As Infinity have revealed they will be dropping a brand new studio album on September 25th. This is going to be their 13th album. There's no official title for it, but you can go ahead and pre-order it. It's going to be interesting. I'd like Do As Infinity. I'm not as caught up on their more recent stuff, but their older stuff I love, so I'm actually interested in checking this out. And yeah, if you're not familiar with Do As Infinity, meaning you've never watched Inuyasha, then we do have a music video in the article for you to check out to get a sampling of their music, which was the ending for Juni Taisen, and that was an interesting show too. I really like the song, but if you want to watch the anime, do not watch the ending theme, because it reveals it's a battle royale and it reveals the kill order. So you know who wins if you watch the ending. So just be aware which is unfortunate because this is a great song. But you know how you can avoid that? You can go watch the music video that we have posted on the site. And the pre-orders are here too. I don't know if I said that or not yet, but we're going to get it in there anyway. And moving on to our last piece of news for the week. And this is kind of a new release thing, but not at the same time, because this isn't a physical release. These are all digital releases. And I was trying to find where they were posting these, and I didn't have any luck there. But I'm certain if you type in Key Talk, you can find them. Probably on their official website would be the best place to find these. So they have revealed that they're actually dropping a brand new single for every week of August. And today, on the day of recording, August 9th, this will be the very first song that they drop. So yeah, each week they are doing a different song. This week is Manatsu no Shodo, which is a party tune that is kind of like in the, you know how like when you're in high school and you just impulsively love random girls. I wouldn't know, but that was never me. But still, that was the inspiration for the song. And then next week's is going to be Shinritsu no Mikyu, which is actually going to be the 4th season opening for Keishicho Zero Gakarai. It is a police drama. And then Blue Hawaii is going to be the 3rd one. And it was really weird because the 3rd one and the last one are both kind of English words, and they had Blue Hawaii wrote in English, but they didn't have the last one that we'll be talking about in English. It was in katakana, so I had to translate it. It was really weird. Like I don't know why they did it the way they did. But anyway, so yeah, Blue Hawaii is going to be used for the main theme for Hot Pepper Beauty, which is a web series. I have never heard of it, but it's a web series. You can check that out. And the last one is going to be called Catch the Wave, which is going to be the opening event for the 2020 Summer Olympic Games. So they wanted to catch the feeling and the theme of surfing in the summer. So that is going to be Key Talk. If you're a huge fan of them, if you can check out these brand new 4 songs that they are unleashing starting today. So, well, it'll be 3 days old by the time you're listening to it, but still, you can go ahead and check out the first song. And that is it for the news. We are going to now move on to this week's Music Corner. I had the lovely pleasure of picking the group for this week. And I will say they had kind of a really interesting origin story. So I might read that to you guys just because I thought this was interesting and I want to share it with you guys. So yeah, we covered this week. I chose I call them to me, they're alternative rock. To some people, they might just be a rock. But to me, they are an alternative rock band, Blue Encount. They are a really, really great band. I really like their music. They are led by Tanabe Shunichi, who is the lead vocal and guitarist. Then you have Eguchi Yuya, who is the lead guitarist. Then Sujimura Yuta is the bassist. And then bringing up the rear, you have Takamura Toshihide, who is the drummer. So it's a 4-member band. And they've actually been around, like they didn't break out onto the music scene until relatively recently, as far as like if you look at the length of their career. But they formed all the way back in 2003 because all of them went to college together. And yeah, it's really a funny story. So at college, Tanabe, Eguchi, and Takamura all met and they hit it off and they formed a rock band and they were missing their bassist. Well, one day Sujimura, he decided that he was wanting to join the tennis club, but the tennis club had gone on vacation and they weren't using their room. And so the guys, they were using the tennis club where they met as a band practice studio. And when he walked in there, he liked their music and decided to join the band. And that is how Blue Encount came into being. Now, their name comes from 2 different things. They had this belief, and I don't know if this is any true or not. I don't feel like it is, but who am I to judge? But they wanted a color in the name of the band because they felt like they did better on the charts. And they were all huge fans of the Hong Kong film Blue Encounter. So that's where they got the name for the band. They just drop off the ER at the end and you have Blue Encount. So yeah, it wasn't until relatively recently in their career that they did finally sign up on a major label. They were in the indie scene for years, but in 2015 they had their very first major release from the studio. Their first album was called Nearly Equal, and it's really weird because they have like the equal sign, but then like two dots that are not equally on it. It's weird, like the symbol for it's weird. But that was their very first major release, and since then they've only actually had like 2 major studio albums, and their last, or 3 total. Sorry, I should have worded that better. They've had 3 studio albums total. Their first one was Nearly Equal. Their last one was Vector, and yeah, they're like we mentioned last week. Their latest single is titled Bad Paradox. That's going to be their 10th single since going major, and yeah, you can check out the article itself. In there we have the first song that I ever heard by the band called Survivor, which is the ending theme for Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans. It's the first ending, if I remember correctly. It could be the second. I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that one, but it is one of the endings of the first season. And yeah, it's really good. It's I think this is a really good song that it's a really good example of like the high energy that they produce. And I love the vocals. I love the guitar. I think these guys have really good range. And yeah, I like I said, I really, really like them. I find a lot of their music to be really interesting and engrossing. And for me, like I said, I call them an alternative rock band because to me they have like I'm not saying they sound like Fall Out Boy, but they have that feel of Fall Out Boy. And I know like Fall Out Boy was kind of an alternative rock band. So now I'm not hyper familiar with Fall Out Boy's discography. So if you disagree, don't murder me in the comments. Believe you me, I'm sorry. But to me, they have that feel. So and that's one of the things that really attracted me to them. And I really do like the lead's vocals. He's got a very, he's really good at projecting his voice against the song, and there's an intensity in his voice that I just find mesmerizing and awesome. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the band. What did you think about Blue Encount, Luna?
So I really enjoyed them. I didn't expect by their photo that they were going to be as alternative as they were. So they kind of reminded me a little bit of Papa Roach. You know?
I guess that works, yeah.
I'm not a Fall Out Boy fan, but I did like Blue Encount. I thought their vocals were amazing. The lead has extremely powerful vocals. You can tell that immediately. Plus, the guitar work is very, very good and unique. I also really enjoyed Survivor. That song has a lot of power behind it. I haven't seen the anime that it belongs to yet, but I know about it and I do own it.
Yeah, you gotta correct that.
I know, I do. You should see my backlog of stuff.
It's I know this isn't a Gundam show, but I will share that series of that Mobile Suit Gundam is very divisive. Like, people either love it or hate it. There's no middle ground.
And I can see how this song relates to it, especially be called Survivor. And the feel from what I've seen snippets of it, but I haven't actually watched it. That feel definitely makes you see that in a song. I think Blue Encount portrays that very well. So I started listening to their Vector album, which all their music's on Spotify, and that's where I was checking them out. And Vector is a really solid album. My favorite song was the first one, Tomose.
Yeah, that's a good song.
It caught me like right from the hook. It caught me, which was unusual for me to like the first song on an album. Usually I end up liking the other songs better than the first one, but I think Tomose was probably my favorite song in the album. Although Goodbye was another really powerful song by them. It also had some high energy with it, which is why I like Tomose and Survivor. They're powerful yet higher energy, although I will say some of their slower songs are also very well done.
Yeah. They do have really good range. They can do slow, and obviously in the slow song you're not going to have a whole lot of energy.
I would say slower, but not, more like alternative slow, not like ballady slow, to clarify. And I do
enjoy not a grinding halt pace, yeah.
And I enjoy a lot of American alternative. That's one fact probably a lot of people about me don't know, is I like metal, and I like some of the alternative rock and Breaking Benjamin. They remind me like a mixture of Breaking Benjamin, Papa Roach, and Bullet for My Valentine, which are some groups I listen to quite frequently. And I could hear the guitar work like in Bullet, but the vocals were more like Papa Roach, Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. I'm more familiar with Breaking Benjamin than I am Papa Roach. He does have that one song I can kind of quote, but I wasn't the biggest listener of Papa Roach, but he was at the height of his career when we were in high school.
Yes, I've seen them a couple times. I've also seen, I've seen a lot of those groups. So this fell into that category for me. Like, this would be a Point Fest band. So, and that's the type of music I did go for, was Point Fest or Warped Tour, that type of thing. And they would fit perfectly with it by the style of music they had. Their songs were very, very, they really caught you.
Do you think they could have, been in the Warped Tour at the height of its popularity?
I think they could have been. I went to a Warped Tour, and I got to meet a singer who became really big in Japan named Becca, and she actually did a song for an anime. I think it was Black Butler. Maybe. I think it was Black Butler.
I do vaguely remember a Becca song being at the front of that show.
So, and I met her. She was super sweet. And she was there, so I could see someone like Blue Encount, people catching them because of the guitar work, the music, the style. It does fit with it pretty well. So, I really enjoyed this band, and I want to hear more from them. And I'm really glad you introduced me, because I don't get to hear I don't listen to as many rock bands in Japan besides like Asian Kung Fu Generation and, and some of the Visual K. So this was a breath of fresh air for me to hear something new in the style of music I like, in America. So usually Japan, I go for more hip hop, R&B. And so I really like that you introduced something like this.
Yeah. Well, I've talked about this several times. Like I grew up on 80s rock, 80s, 70s rock. Like my household that I grew up in, it's mostly classic rock that we listen to. So, and when I was in high school and stuff like that, like listened to a little bit of current stuff like Blink-182, Green Day, a little bit of Fall Out Boy. And because I remember when Fuse first came out and was a thing, and I did like Fuse there for a while. And then, I slowly fell out of it. And so I kind of lost touch with all of this. So when I find bands like Blue Encount and stuff like that, it kind of just takes me back to my high school days. And I think that's what
it gives me too.
Yeah. And it is weird because, you know, when I listen to Japanese music, I'm a lot like you. Like I listen to, I call it the corporate pop. That's what I call it. Like, you know, when you're talking about like SKE48, you know, LOL and, you know, Little Glee Monster and stuff like that. Like, this is mostly what I listen to is this corporatized pop that's just designed to be, you know, as entertaining as possible. And you know, I've really moved away from rock and different rock groups. And, you know, Blue Encount is one of those groups where, you know, for like, I've known about Survivor for over 2 years now. And they were a group that I have been meaning to sit down, listen to, get into, and I've had opportunities and never took them up. And one of the reasons I wanted to do Blue Encount for Music Corner is because I wanted to listen to more of their music, because I wanted to take that deep dive. And that's one of the great things I really like about the Music Corner is it gives me that excuse to go listen to things I typically don't listen to, because I think everybody gets to a point where they develop comfort food for music. And once you find like your comfort food, you rarely listen to something that's not outside your comfort food. So Blue Encount, while I love it, it's things that I typically like. It's not in my comfort food zone, and it lets me branch out and listen to something different. So yeah, I'm glad you liked them. I was a little nervous, but I'm really glad that you liked them, and hopefully Ken got a chance to check them out and listen to them. I think he said he's heard a couple of their songs and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, that'll do it for this week's Music Corner. And yeah, this will actually be a very short week for the Oricon. Just as a heads up, there's not a ton to talk about. Most of the songs on here we have talked about in one way, shape, form, or fashion. There's only 4 new songs that we will be talking about today. So yeah, I think it's just best to go ahead and dive right in. So we're going to do that with number 10 is Happy Happy by Twice. I think we've talked about it. I will say this is the better Twice song on the list. I actually listened to that earlier today, and I love this song. It's so catchy. It's so much fun. It's just a delight to listen to.
Yeah, and I agree. I know you can listen to our last 2 podcasts as it made it, and very glad to see that it still hung around.
Yeah, it's hanging on like the champ it is. But yeah, it collected a total of 17,899 points, almost 17,900, just 1 point shy. Moving on up to Pretender by Official Hige Dandism. The song, like I said earlier, it's the zombie. It will not die. It keeps coming and coming, and I'm so glad it just does not go away because I love it. I love it to death.
Yep,
it could stay on here.
Up. I'm really glad it keeps popping up on here just because it gives us another chance to re-listen to it and talking about it. If you have not heard it, recommend you checking it out.
You're missing out. I would say you're missing out. If you haven't heard the song yet, you're missing out. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, it's okay. And I don't know if we said how many copies Happy Happy sold. It sold.
Yes. Yeah, I did. It was 17,899.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember I made the joke that it was 1 point shy of 17,900.
Well, so close.
Yeah, it is just 1 point shy. But yeah, Pretender sold, I like to say accumulated points just because it's a little different system. But it has accumulated a total of 19,328 points. It was a busy week, surprisingly enough. Like, the numbers are really high for this week. Moving on up to Idolmaster. Oh, the Idolmaster Million Theater Wave 1 flyers. You know, I just had the thought, Luna, were you on the week that we covered this?
Yeah, we covered this last week.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Or was it the week before? But we covered this one.
I know we covered it, but it wasn't last week. It was 2 weeks ago.
I know it popped back up.
I couldn't remember which week it came on.
It was either last or the week beforehand, but I know we covered it in the last 2 weeks.
And as we originally stated, it is surprisingly really good for a Idolmaster song. I think that can go without saying. It is really good.
Oh yeah, it's not bad for a Idolmaster, and I'm hit or miss on them, and it's not too bad.
But yeah, this one accumulated a total of 20,024 points. Moving on to number 7, a personal favorite of mine. Sing Out by Nogizaka 46. I'm so glad it's here. Love the song.
I bet you are. It's okay. I'm surprised it's still on here. But I'm not I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. I think, some things later we'll talk about have something to do with it. That may be why it popped up.
Possibly. But yeah, Sing Out sold or accumulated a total of 20,318 points. So very narrow margin between 7 and 8. And number 6, honestly, is just 200 and little over 250 points more. So very tight spot 6, 7, and 8. Could have gone any way. But this will be the very first brand new song we talk about this week. And that is Verses, or VS, by Porno Graffiti. I've got to say, this was not what I was expecting from Porno Graffiti at all. Now, I'll be the first one to admit I'm not the most prolific in their discography. Like, I mostly know them from the day, and I like the song. Don't get me wrong. But if it wasn't attached to the show it's attached to, I probably wouldn't even give it the time of day. But this is on the front of a baseball anime. And I think Ken is a fan of this. I think he watches all the baseball shows. He's a huge baseball fan. And I'm certain he could probably tell you to the quality of the anime better. But I will tell you that this song is absolutely stunning. It's very, very well done. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful ballad and just this beautiful guitar work with delicate, nice vocals that just complement the guitar work. This was a song I just was not expecting from Porno Graffiti, and I think they absolutely killed it this week. Like, this song is fantastic, and I absolutely love it.
So, I actually really enjoyed it. However, it reminds me of Melissa from Fullmetal Alchemist. It really gave me that same vibe and brought me back to that nostalgia, and when I heard it, first thing I thought, I want to rewatch Fullmetal Alchemist now because the song reminded me of it. And I love the song. I really do like their vocals, the guitar work. I mean, this band is fantastic. I haven't heard too much by them, but it really brought me back some nostalgia, as, you know, reminding me why I still like them, and I need to hear more from them.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you haven't watched Brotherhood yet, right?
No, I have not. This is from the original anime, and
I know.
So I already know what happens in Brotherhood because I've read all the manga, so I'm still getting to it. I have probably a huge backlog of anime, and I have to be picky and choosy what I decide to watch, and also I gotta be in the mood to watch certain things. I will say this really made me want to watch the original, but I hate how the original ends, but I do love all the music for the original so much.
Yeah, the original has a great soundtrack, but I will say Brotherhood I felt like it has a really good soundtrack. I don't think it's as memorable as the first one, but it's still really solid. And Fullmetal Alchemist, especially Brotherhood's probably my favorite anime of all time. Like, it's really up there. It's in the top 4. Like, just like absolute fantastic. Perfect ending. I like to forget the first one didn't even happen.
Well, the first one, I think the first half of it is amazing, very well done. It's the second half where it falls apart.
Oh, it falls apart horrifically.
So that's where I have my picks and chooses on that, because I really love how the first half is, and of course Melissa is one of the songs in the first half. So hearing this just brought me back to my nostalgia days, and just made me think of that, made me remember how I first heard of them, and I'm like, wow, that's an interesting name, because I never would have thought they'd sound like that. And they have an amazing sound to them, so no hit on that. Just it's the name sometimes that throws you off a little bit.
Fun fact, I am currently wearing a Fullmetal Alchemist t-shirt.
Nice.
Completely unplanned. But yep, that was Verses by Porno Graffiti, which accumulated a grand total of 20,586 points. Now, moving on up to number 5, it is indeed the Frustration Station. I'm adding the station part, but you get the point, by SKE48. This song, yeah, I think we talked about enough of it last week. We had a 10-minute quasi-discussion, quasi-rant, we don't understand what in the world's going on with this song discussion last week. If you want to hear all 10 minutes of that fantastic dialogue and discussion, you can check out last week's episode. So we will not go belabor the point here for number 5, but it did come in with a grand total of 22,227 points. A lot of 2s in that one. Moving on up to number 4, Breakthrough by Twice. Again, this is number 2 on last week's, and we had a not nearly as long a discussion, but we still had a good discussion on Breakthrough. So again, I definitely encourage you guys to go check out last week's episode and just enjoyed that discussion that we had on Breakthrough. It is radically different for Twice. It is not their usual fanfare, so check it out. But they had a phenomenal week. They actually almost doubled what SKE did. Not quite, but they're very close. But they did 44,127 points. And moving on up to the second new song that we will talk about. Hot, Hot, Hot by Toho Shinki.
Can I say also known as Dongbang Shinki, aka DBSK? I just wanted to throw that out there because that's how I know them as still.
If you want to find them on Apple Music, it's TVXQ, if I remember correctly. They have some weird abbreviations. Because I asked Ken, I was like, why are they TVXQ? I don't get this. Yeah, TVXQ with an exclamation point.
Yep, that's their other title.
Yep. But yeah, Toho Shinki, now it was a double A-side, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I have not heard the second song. I downloaded it for later. No, I did not. There's no music video for Mirror, but there is a music video for Hot, 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 and we were able to check that out, and I gotta say, I was not feeling this song at all in the beginning. And then the first time they sing the chorus kicked in, and I was like, all right, I'm in. That's when I bought the ticket and I was on the plane. I was like, yes, this is it. This is awesome. I love this. This is so good. It was a mess song, and then it becomes like this really fun song to listen to, and you can tell in the music video they're having a blast. They're just on the beach, just having the time of their life, and I find that very appealing too. And yeah. No, go on.
I was going to agree with you because I greatly enjoyed this. And at first I wasn't sure how I felt when it started off. I was really iffy, as DBSK I'm hit or miss since they're, as you know, down 3 members. There's only 2 of them now, so they're not the full unit. And ever since that happened, I just so nitpicky, and I started listening to them like, I don't know. Then when it got to that chorus, just like you said, Gray, I was in. The video was amazing. It was a fun, upbeat song. I loved it. It was the perfect summer song, and their vocals were fantastic. They make a really good duo with their harmonies, and how they played off each other in it. I just loved it.
Yeah, it was really weird because once the verses stick back in, like it has like the same problems as before, but you kind of dismiss them after you hear that chorus. You're like, this works. This works more in my head now than it did literally 30 seconds ago. I'm in. Oh man, this is a great song. I don't know. I don't remember ever really loving a Toho Shinki song. So hey, this is great. This was fantastic. I think this is my song of the week. I really do, because the next 2 songs we'll talk about, I kind of like. I'm not the biggest fan in the world. Hot, Hot, Hot was insane. I loved the song. But yeah, it came in at number 3 with a fantastic total of 62,911 points. And moving on up to number 2, it's Welcome to Paradise by The Rampage from Exile Tribe. This song was okay for me. I liked the rap in it. That to me was really the highlight of the entire song. But the music and the background and the melody, it wasn't hitting on a whole lot for me. I get it's a dance song. It just, I don't know. It does have like a islandy feel to it. I will give them all the points for that. But it just didn't hit on anything for me. It's okay. I'm not going to say it's a bad song or that I dislike it, but I was just meh by it. Maybe on 2 or 3 more listens, I'll grow to like it. But right now, raw opinion, I'm just not feeling it.
So I did like it. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. I loved his vocals at the beginning. So this is where I'm a little devil's advocate on here. I thought it was a really fun song. It wasn't my favorite of the week. I think my favorite was Versus and Hot Hot. Those were my top 2. But Welcome to Paradise probably fell as my 3rd. And I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed the music video, but it was just that lead's vocals they had. They were so smooth, and it got me up and dancing, and, some upbeatness to it. I like the smooth transitions in the song, too.
Yeah, it does have really good smooth transitions. I will give the song that. I didn't hate it. I don't think it's a bad song. Me personally, I just wasn't wowed by it, which I think is, ever since I heard Hard Hit, which wowed me, is what I expect from the Rampage, and everything after Hard Hit has not wowed me, and I'm like, Can you give me more Hard Hit? That hit me hard. But I mean, like, it's not a bad song. I don't want to sit here and ramble on too much and just repeat myself, but yeah, it did have a good week. All doubts aside, I mean, it accumulated a total of 69,731 points. So the Rampage had a good week. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for number one, as with all weeks, they would have been number one. But moving on to the last one, number one for the week, Daisuki na Hito by STU48. I do like this song. I find it to be mildly fun and affectionate, but I will say it is very standard idol fare. They really don't do anything new or fantastic. Now, this is the Boat 48, the 48 crew that have their boat tour. So if you go on like a cruise in Japan, they do like a performance every night, and you get to see more of the boat in this music video, which is really great, and that's kind of cool. But the song itself, I really like their last one more, and I know I was the only one that liked that one, but I still like that one a lot more than I did this one, because yeah, it's very much standard idol fare. They're not breaking the mold, they're not doing anything too risky, and that's fine. I don't know if, especially for the boat show, I don't know if he wants to do anything too risky or not. I mean, you have a very safe audience that you're going to capture with this, so I think it's fine. I think it serves its purpose very well, and it is fun and what. I mean, I'm not wowed by it, but I do like it. It's kind of fun. It's got a cute innocence about it that I find mildly entertaining and attractive.
It's a very cutesy song. I can't say too much about it. It's really not my thing. I felt that it was a very generic idol song. To me, it was very forgettable. I actually enjoyed Sing Out way more than this one.
But that we can agree with.
Yeah,
I love
but
Sing
it's
Out.
a typical cute by the numbers idol song that they get out. You know, there isn't really anything else I can say about it.
Yeah, it's standard fare. It does, like I said, it doesn't do anything new. It's not really much here to talk about, but it had a great week, and that we can talk about a little bit, because it came in with 255,342 points. So yeah, they had a really, really good week, and that was this week in the Oricon. I know Ken likes to do the albums, and I honestly forgot to do it last week, but since we're running a little short this week,
we might as well peer over there and check out to see what's on there. And
yep,
I'm starting from the
and
bottom.
I think he starts at 10.
Bump of Chicken.
I don't know why I put it in Japanese, because I can't read this guy.
I mentioned Bump of Chicken just because I really do enjoy their music.
Yeah, Bump of Chicken came in at number 9. G-Idol was number 6.
Yeah. La Da Ta, which is actually a really good song. I was curious to see that. And Arashi's still on there, number 4.
Number 4, hanging in there.
Radwimps, not surprised there. I'm not surprised. Number 1 is Cartoon, and they, of course, they're Johnny's. They're gonna hit number 1. Plus, I really do enjoy their music. They have very good voices. So it's always interesting to see. And GOT7's number 2. I know they're a very popular band.
Hey, do you remember that anime that we were curious what the Radwimp songs were for last week?
Yes.
The Weather Child.
Weathering You. Tanky no Coal. So yeah, the Weather Child, the U.S. translation, in which they're now calling it, is Weathering You, like a pun. But the literal translation could be Child of the Weather or Weather Child.
Yeah. So there, we finally got our answer.
I shouldn't be surprised, because Makoto Shinkai's directing this, and he did Kimi no Nawa. So in Radwimps, he seems to use Radwimps for a lot of those songs. So
yeah, I did hear this one's not nearly as good as Your Name, but I want to see it before I pass judgment on it, and I haven't.
Oh, I do too. It looks very, very well done, beautiful. All his movies are visually stunning, and I've been a fan of him since Hoshino Koi, Voices of a Distant Star. I want
to see that.
It's a short, but it's very good. And also, Place Promised in Our Early Days is amazing.
That one's usually critically acclaimed. Like, the only thing that I've seen him do is Your Name. And I will say that movie is absolutely stunning. So it makes you want to go back and watch his old stuff, but I just haven't had the time or opportunity. So that is how it goes. But yeah, that was your show for the week. Sorry it was a little short. We didn't have too much to talk about. We only had 4 new songs. And yeah, so it was a little short this week, but that's okay. We will be back next week for more, so stay tuned for that. You can follow our affiliates, Kyoru Hunter. We still need to get him a name because he's not living in Japan anymore. He is home, he's streaming, and he's having a good time. So hopefully he's enjoying being back in America. But you can follow Kyo on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kyoru Hunter. And you can follow him on Twitter at Kokusai Kyoryu. He has a slightly different name. But now if you do type in Kyoru Hunter in the search bar, you will see his name. You can also check out Timbertaft, who is also a Twitch streamer. You can find him at you can find him at twitch.tv/Timbertaft, and you can find him on Twitter at Timbertaft as well if you want to follow him on Twitter. He is also a Twitch streamer, and he likes to do various English covers of anime openings. So if there's a song that you like, check out his channel. He might have an English cover for it that you can check out. And some English covers of Japanese songs are really well done. So if you do like that, check it out. Highly recommend it. As for us, you can find us at ongaku2u.com. You can find us on Twitter at ongaku2u, and you can find us on Facebook at ongaku2u as well. You can find Ken. He's back from his trip. So he's kind of sad and depressed. He's feeling the jet lag, but he's hanging in there. But you can find him at OTYKen1 on Twitter. And where can we find you, Luna?
You can find me on Twitter at LunaMaria87. You can also find me on Instagram as Nerdy Collector Luna. Or if you really enjoy movies, you can follow me on Letterboxd as LunaMaria87.
Is that like a new social media site?
So Letterboxd is an app where you can track all the movies you've watched, and there's also like a little diary in there so you can log movies you watched. You can also rate them on there. It's a good way to keep track of pretty much, I like to keep track of what I want to watch, and if someone tells me about a movie, I forget sometimes and I can't remember the name. So this is a good way for me to just plug the name in, put it on my watch list, and then I can look for it later. So I do that with, I do a horror podcast occasionally called We Need to Talk About Horror, and whenever they mention a movie I really want to watch that I'm probably going to forget the title of later, I plug it in there and add it. It also gives me an idea of what I have watched, and sometimes I like to change my rating. It does have anime movies on there. It also had a whole bunch of Ayumi Hamasaki concerts. And of course, I gave those 5 stars. But if you're interested to see what I'm watching, or if I'm watching anything, you can check that out, and it's actually a pretty fun app.
Cool. That's fun to know. I'll have to check that out. You can find me at Ongaku Gray on Twitter. That's where I do all of my stuff. I did start tweeting again this week, so it was not every day, but I did send out like 2 tweets. So yeah, just keep an eye out on that. I'm going to try to do better about what I'm listening to and checking out. So yeah, that is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you for listening. If you are listening to on SoundCloud or any podcast listening devices, thank you guys so much. We are appreciative of everybody that checks us out and tunes in. So yeah, but if you are listening to us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you're listening to us on SoundCloud and or YouTube, feel free to leave a comment in the comments below. We do check those, and we'd be happy to get any feedback we can. Thank you guys so much for this week. I'm Gray, and we will talk to you next time.
I hope everyone has a wonderful week and that you enjoyed today's podcast. I wish you I look forward to seeing you again next week, or you listening to me. So this is Luna, signing off.